think part of it's just practice. So you get more comfortable as time goes on. So like looking back at the way I had meetings, 5 years ago is very different from the way I do now. So a lot of it's kind of getting notches under your belt, and the more you do, the more you feel like you have to talk about. I remember in the first meetings, I would always talk in the future tense, and it was very awkward to talk about things that I had not yet done but hoped to do. It's a lot easier to be like, these are our successes. This is what we have accomplished. So part of it is just time and experience, but practice. I mean, our biggest donor still to this day, but has been from the first year I started Nest, was 30 under 30 with me in St. Louis, and that was my first year of starting Nest. So I was 24, and I remember when I went to get my award, it was mostly business people. I was the only nonprofit. And so the guy kind of announcing everyone fumbled on what I did, and it was really awkward. And I went up to get my award and like was staring at my toes, and like one of the only women and the only nonprofit. And so everybody else, was making lots of money and doing all these great things. And then the next day, like my phone was ringing off the hook, and I thought that was odd. And so I went out on a couple of these coffee dates with people that were, 30 under 30 with me, and realized that they were all dates, not actually interested in Nest. And so then I was like, okay, that didn't work out. And then this one guy called, and he asked to meet for coffee, and I was like kind of toying with whether or not to go, and I decided to go. And he was engaged, and so I realized it wasn't a date right away, and he was actually interested in Nest. And in the process of having coffee, it turns out he's an insurance broker, so he sells life insurance, and he was like, how many people do you ask for money? This was 3 months into Nest, and he was like, how many people do you ask for money every day? And I was like, none. And he was like, in a month? And I'm like, none. And he's like, well, how's that working out for you raising money? And I'm like, not so well. And he's like, if you ask me for money today, I'll write you an $1,000 check right now. And I was like, what? And so I was like, can I have some money? He's like, no, you like actually have to explain to me why $1,000 would help you. And so I did, and he wrote me an $1,000 check, and still today is our biggest donor. And
that's incredible.
Those checks got a lot bigger.
So you literally ask him, can I have some money?
Yeah. But then, he was, he's like, I sell life insurance. I ask people for money every day, and you are selling business creation for women in third world countries. Like, you should have no problem doing this. And so for the first year, every time I would have a donor meeting, he would pick me up and drive me around the block and like get me all pumped up and kind of help me on my pitch. And
were you listening to music or?
Yeah. Totally.
Really?
And he would practice my lines, and he was great. So, so a lot of it's just practice. You just have to learn like what to say and get comfortable saying it. And so people, you can do it in front of the mirror too.